Well, first up, tonight, the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISER, has described the 1.75% electronic transaction levy introduced by government in the 2022 budget as punitive. According to its director, Professor Peter Korte, the E-levy should rather be pegged at a rate between 0.5 and 0.7%. There is more in this report.
At the review of the 2022 budget statement, the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research called for a further reduction in the E-levy in order not to overburden Ghanaians with many indirect taxes. According to its director, Professor Peter Korte, the proposed rate from his institution will face less resistance from the public and also yield significant revenue for national development. He explained further that though the policy is a good one, the government should embark on stakeholder consultations to get the E-levy reviewed.
The need for revenue enhancement is understandable. We need to raise more revenue. However, taxing electronic transfers are currently proposed an optimal way. That's the question we again ask. On the other hand, assuming it is price elasticity is very low, in other words, people don't really mind. No matter what price you impose, they will still buy or use the service. It's still likely to, although you get additional revenue, it's still likely to affect other businesses and affect the cost of doing business. It will affect output, it will affect employment, as well as the pass-on effect on cost of living. But however, if in the long run people can substitute, in other words, there are other options, then that becomes a problem. Your ability to raise the revenue will be challenged. It will have potential impact on financial inclusion, the cash-light economy, and the potential acceptance and usage of the soon-to-be introduced the Cedi will be threatened. So I think we ought to look at this thing very, very carefully. Our proposal will be a levy of 0.5 to 0.75%. We think that would be very minimal. People might complain, but they will still enjoy the service. And then gradually, you rake in all the revenue. Over time, you review. You do your estimations, empirical, incidence analysis, etc. And you review if you need to gradually increase the levy. But we feel that the 1.7%, 75% is punitive.
He also called for a dialogue in Parliament between the majority and the minority to prevent eroding of investor confidence and also keep the exchange rate relatively stable.
Everybody wants to work in an uncertain environment. Investors will not work in an uncertain environment. There will be capital flight, and that could affect exchange rates. Depreciation could affect our livelihood, our cost of doing business, etc. It could even affect government itself in terms of the programs and that it has earmarked. It could affect contractors who have to be paid, and that could also affect their loan default rate. It could also affect their families and so on and so forth. So any uncertainty has repercussions on the entire economy.
On the monetary sector, he said the government ought to promote production to boost supply of goods to curtail inflation. James Asian's report for Joy Business.
Well, government is expected to make some amendments to the proposed tax on electronic transactions as Parliament reconvenes tomorrow. Now, Joy Business is learning that the decision was taken even before last Friday's rejection of the budget. We understand that it was one of the resolutions reached at last week's cabinet meeting. Now, sources say government is also considering scrapping the levy on inward remittances. Chief Executive or Chief Finance Officer at the Valley View University, Dr. Williams Pepra, says it is a good move. He tells Joy Business government can target the untaxed informal sector to make up for any review.
If you really look at the computation done by the finance minister, the chunk of the money was going to come from the mobile money process. Almost 8.7 billion cedis. I'm just giving this figure based on the 500 billion that was mentioned, that as at 2020, we got 500 billion. We are getting indication that in 2021, we are around 900 billion. So what I think government can do is to look at the percentage, the charge. If government can reduce the charge, and then also find a way to set it on, have a base that it will be charged on. Possibly, I am thinking that the percentage should be charged on the service fee and not on the amount to be transferred. So let's say if I'm transferring 1,000 cedis, I'm supposed to pay 1.75%. So already I'll be paying charges to the telcos of 1%. Can we take a base on the 1% of that charge to make it the fee? If we look at the movement, government was still raking close to 5 billion. And that will not deviate from too much from the 8.7 billion government is expecting to raise in 2022.
Now, with barely 5 weeks to end the year, the Ghana cedi has come under intense pressure and is being classified among African currencies with the worst spot returns. It is now ranked 14th among 20 top African currencies tracked by Bloomberg. Here's more.
Combination of factors including increased corporate demand for the US dollar and the exit of the country's bond by some foreign investors have put pressure on the local currency. The past week has been worse as the local currency lost more grounds to the dollar. Bloomberg therefore put the depreciation of the cedi at 4.05%, though the Bank of Ghana data shows a lower decline in value of the local currency to the US dollar. Analysts want the central bank to up its intervention on the forex market to reduce the rate of depreciation as the foreign investors want faster pace of fiscal consolidation going forward. Here is senior economic analyst with Data Bank Research, Courage Mate, who says there haven't been significant appetite for the government securities after the presentation of next year's budget.
In fact, our gauge of foreign investor sentiment around the budget shows that a lot of foreign investors feel like the faster pace of fiscal consolidation is necessary. However, they feel the revenue expectations are ambitious. And for that matter, they are very cautious on the outlook for the FX exposure they will take.
Meanwhile, the Zambian kwacha is the best performing currency in Africa so far this year. The Nigerian naira is, however, 13th, whilst the South African rand is 19th with a depreciation of 19.28%.
So, what can government do to manage the cedi's performance? Here's senior economist with Data Bank Research, Courage Mate.
There seems to be an increasing gap or spread between the retail FX rate and what is quoted on the central bank website. As at mid-year, the spread was about 2%. Currently, the spread is about 7%. We need to narrow that gap because that widening spread is creating the expectation of further depreciation to come because it appears there need to be some convergence, and the market is expecting that the central bank rate has to move to converge with the retail rate. And so that uncertainty needs to be cleared if we achieve convergence. Now, things that can be done also would be in the short term, monetary policy has taken the lead. First of all, we saw an increase in the policy rate last week, using interest rates to increase the appeal of cedi and cedi-denominated securities is one way, so that the pullouts can reduce because they are being compensated for with higher interest rates. Then you also notice that on the supply side, the central bank has increased the frequency of the forward auctions that it does. Previously, it used to be once every 2 weeks, but now it's been announced that it will be done every week, in addition to the spot market intervention. So the central bank is doing its bit to anchor the cedi's performance. Now, that is not to prevent depreciation because we run a flexible exchange rate regime. So the central bank's intervention is only to prevent volatility and extreme, if you like, slide. But the currency will still depreciate in line with the fundamentals that we have, which is a high currency, the high fiscal deficit, and rising inflation.
All right, the thoughts of Courage Mate, the senior economist with Data Bank Research. You're watching Business Live. We're taking a short break. We're back with some more. All right, welcome back to Business Live. The Ghana Chamber of Mines is calling on government to revive the Gold Museum Committee to unlock the value potential in the mining sector. Speaking at the 7th Ghana Mining Industry Awards, Chief Executive of the Chamber, Dr. Suleiman Akoni, said his outfit has commenced the fitting of a mini museum in the hope of propagating the prospects of the sector. In 2020, the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture inaugurated a committee to oversee the establishment of a gold museum. The rationale? To attract more tourists into the country, considering that Ghana has been mining gold for the past 100 years, yet there is no historical trail of mining artifacts to satisfy the curiosity of tourists. Speaking at the 7th Ghana Mining Industry Awards, Chief Executive of the Chamber, Dr. Suleiman Akoni, urged government to revive the committee.
The Chamber commits to collaborate with the relevant authorities to unlock the country's latent socio-economic value in this subsector. In our own small way, the Chamber has commenced fitting its mini museum at its secretariat, which hopefully will be a teaser of what we can develop at a national level. In this regard, we wish to call on the Minister for Tourism, Honorable Dr. Ibrahim Awal, to revive the Gold Museum Committee, set up a few years ago to work assiduously to unlock the potential value in the subsector for our dear nation.
President of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Eric Subontin, disclosed some initiatives the Chamber has implemented to address the challenges in the sector.
Ghana's mining sector is still a long way off in attaining its full potential. To address these gaps, the Chamber has stepped in to find solutions in line with its objectives of providing leadership to the challenges the industry faces. These include, but not limited to, the establishment of standards for the local production of electrical cables, mapping opportunities in the mining supply chain in Ghana, arranging financing for supply chain participants, and last but not the least, commissioning and funding a study into how we can deliberately position Ghana as the hub for mining support services in West Africa.
Meanwhile, co-chair of the Ghana Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, Dr. Steve Mantiao, applauded the nominees and awardees for their hard work in making the mining industry a positive reference point.
We are here once again to join our hearts with these outstanding personalities and companies among us in the pursuance of excellence to make the mining industry in Ghana a positive reference point for other mining destinations. On behalf of the members of the adjudicating board, I congratulate all companies and individuals, including students.
Now, total bilateral trade of Ghana and Turkey has reached $772 million this year. This is up from $476 million recorded in December 2019. The diplomatic and economic relationship between the two countries has grown from strength to strength over the last several years amidst COVID-19. Turkish ambassador to Ghana, Özlem Ergun Ulusen, spoke to Joy Business at a post-business-to-business engagement organized by Cal Bank for some selected customers and the Turkish trade desk. Here's more.
The overall trade volume between the two countries soared by about 62%, beating expectations of many trade analysts who were anticipating a significant drop in trade activity as a result of the pandemic. Ghana's exports to Turkey shot up by an astonishing 188% over that of 2019, rising from $102 million to $294 million. Özlem Ergun Ulusen is Turkish ambassador to Ghana.
The trade relations between Turkey and Ghana is improving. Last year, even during the pandemic conditions, our trade volume has reached $772 million, and this is the highest level historically in terms of our trade relations. Well, pandemic showed that Turkey has been logistically situated in a wonderful way, and indeed during the pandemic our Turkish exports had reached its historically highest level.
The Cal Bank post B2B engagement for its customers who are business owners sought to deliberate on issues bothering the SME sector. Chief Executive of Cal Bank PLC, Philip Oredu, expressed his outfit's commitment to the sector.
Because of the informal nature of how they do their things, because of sometimes issues of collateral which is not available to them. So what we do as Kakao Bank, that is why we have, as an institution, segregated the SME clients into a specialized business, which basically understands their business and make sure that we lend to them not based on the traditional criteria of lending, but being able to understand their business and being able to work with them based on the generation of their cash flow and being able to provide financing for them.
Some customers of Kakao Bank shared their thoughts.
I sincerely think that, especially for SMEs, like we be in that space, we don't have enough capital to finance ourselves. And so if you have a very good partner who will support you financially, then it makes your work easier, because, I mean, looking for money in Ghana is quite tough. But if a bank is available to give you the cushion, then it gives you a very good footing for you to grow.
How many people can have a $1 billion collateral for you to be able to access finance or from the bank? No. And you know, these SMEs is hand to mouth, mostly hand to mouth. You do small businesses, but you go to access a loan in a bank, they tell you, oh, be a collateral of 5 times the money you are looking for.
Ya buy no one banks and nkasa na ma ye wo dwadie mu no omo ayen se be ya ye pelon abo atre ye dwuma mu ene ade se na se kura buy me ase se payroll na yema enti yenya ya start bibi kakra na yetimi impre nkrofo kakra no omrem no omo ayen se be ya interest rate be ba form na ye business no nso mu atre.
Now, Vodafone Ghana has launched a new promotion christened the Ekosu promotion. A new campaign is expected to bring a touch of magic into the lives of customers. Here's more.
Ordered to loyal customers, the promo that will last for the next 3 months is to ease the pressure on the effects of COVID-19 on customers of Vodafone as the festive season sets in. Here is the customer segment manager, Dennis Ewua.
Big day for Vodafone Ghana. We've launched the biggest consumer promo to ever hit the Ghanaian market. It is the Ekosu promo. Today, we have duly launched it. As we did indicate, the promo is very simple. There's no opt-in. You don't need to subscribe to the promo. There's no chance. It's not a chance game. It's open to every consumer. The consumers only do the basic activity he does every day, which is topping up, recharging. Once you recharge, you build your red coins, and with your red coins, you can redeem airtime, data, and cash.
Well, that sounds exciting. That's it for Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We've got the day's latest stories from there, plus our top story, Cedi under intense pressure, ranked among African currencies with worst spot returns by Bloomberg. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We're back same time tomorrow.